Scope and nature of occupational health and safety. We'll be discussing here different elements within health and safety in the workplace. Starting with health, when we talk about occupational health, we mean here occupational diseases such as occupational cancer or asthma, and occupational disorders such as, for example, upper limb disorder or hearing loss. How can we minimize, monitor, and prevent these kinds of problems? It's very challenging when it comes to occupational health. First of all, because these disorders could be related to some genetic factors which make it difficult to link them to the workplace environment and health and safety standard. Another possibility that the personal hygiene and personal lifestyle of the individual play a big role in these disorders or diseases. Also, the previous job, the condition within the previous workplace of the person or previous job could play a factor. So the person might have worked somewhere for 10 years, being exposed to very hazardous chemicals. He will not probably find about his sickness or disease only later when he is within our company. So is it our problem or is it the other company's problem? It's very challenging to find out. However, it's not impossible. How can we make it possible? Pre-employment health check plays a crucial role in order to set a reference point to the health condition of the person before he or she joins our company, keeping a proper recording of regular health check, particularly for some types which are required within our workplace, such as X-ray, for lung, for example, for the people who work with chemicals or dust, as a simple example. How can we prevent problems escalating? So if we have one problem, let's say we discovered a problem related to respiratory diseases with few of our workers working in the same department, that means we might have, it's very likely that we have a problem in the health standards within this department. We should investigate, improve it. That will enable us to prevent others from getting the same sickness and illness. So yeah, it's a reactive in a way because we are only doing it after we discover the problem. However, it could be considered proactive because we are protecting the rest of the staff from even experiencing this problem. When we talk about safety here, we mean the occupational accidents, occupational dangerous occurrence such as even near misses and job-related accidents, specific job-related accidents for people who, for example, work at height. So falling from height is something which is specifically a danger for the nature of their job. Welfare facility is also part of health and safety requirements within the workplace. They include the hygiene requirements such as toilets, wash basins, showering facility if required. Eating and drinking areas are part of the minimum requirements for health, for hygiene, for welfare facilities within the workplace. Accommodation if required for staff to work in shifts, such as the people who work in oil and gas industry work in shifts, so they spend 2 weeks or 5 weeks in the field. They need to be provided with adequate accommodation. There are many things which are included under welfare facilities, toilets, rest areas, areas for pregnant women. However, these are subjective because if we don't have female staff within our workplace, we don't need to provide, for example, areas for pregnant women. Showering facility is important when people are expected to shower and changing rooms if they need to change their clothes or overall during work shifts, such as firefighters, for example, people working in food industry. Ideally, they should have these facilities available. When it comes to these facilities, we always remind ourselves that health and safety and emergency procedures should be present for these facilities. So the rest areas should also have exit signs, emergency lights, evacuation routes, clearly labeled, fire extinguishers, probably first aid kit. We need to make sure that health and safety standards within these facilities are well maintained in the same level as the original workplace. The next part we are going to discuss very briefly here, environmental protection. In simple words, how can our industry affect the environment? Well, we can affect the environment in two ways. Speaking about our workplace environment, so the air quality, the noise level, the waste management within our workplace, it's very important, has to be well managed. It falls under health and safety requirement of the company. However, we have overall responsibility to make sure that our activities within the workplace will not affect the natural environment in the city, the country that we operate in. There are, of course, legal requirements, but there are a lot of voluntary actions that we can do, such as recycling, reuse of some materials, reducing the use of energy, depending more on natural resources, renewable resources. All these could contribute to reduce our negative impact on the environment. Of course, we have to remind ourselves when we talk about environment, it's not only air, it's the air, land, and water. We speak about sustainability in the sense reduce the use of disposable materials and equipment and go for sustainable approach in all our activities. Thank you very much for listening to this session. If you have any questions and answers, you may note them down and send them to us for clarification and to discuss them probably during our live conference session with all the group. Thank you.